Hey everybody, so I thought I'd give a little overview on Flicker Tron, which is the deck I've been playing with lately. I've been kind of addicted to Magic the Gathering, and I played a lot, so I figured, hey, I might as well record it, might as well share some things I've learned, even though I still have a long way to go. Um, I'll just kind of go through each of these cards and what I've used them for, and it will hopefully give you a sense of what the deck can do and how to run it. Um, I'll start by saying Tron refers to these three types of lands here, to where if you have all of them in play, you get a lot of mana. So that's 2, 2, and 3. So the plan is to get a lot of mana, and then you can play a bunch of different spells over and over, getting them back with Mnemonic Wall, and Ephemerate and Ghostly Flicker. But let's go through each card at a time, or at least the important ones. I'll start with Bajuka Bog. So this will clear their graveyard. This is handy against if you're playing against Flicker Tron, to where they're trying to do the same thing you are and getting spells back from their graveyard. You can flicker this to repeatedly clear their graveyard, but also you can use Crop Rotate to bring that up. So say they play a wall, Mnemonic Wall, and they target something in their graveyard. On their turn, you can pop this up, switch out a land for Bajuka Bog, and clear it, and then they will bring nothing in. So it's a nice, handy bonus use of Crop Rotate. Crop Rotate also allows you to get your Tron set up faster. Cave of Temptation. So this is a nice way to get colored mana. Like if they kill all your prisms or ornaments, you can get colored mana this way. You can also sack it and put 2 +1/+1 counters on a target creature. I do that with the Mole Drifters, so you can beef those up and attack them. You can then bring back Cave of Temptation with Pulse of Marasa, and then bring back Pulse of Marasa with Mnemonic Wall, and just continue that combo to continually beef up Mole Drifter. Islands, I have some of these lands that just give you life when they come in. You can flicker these if you're in an emergency situation where you need life. Thriving Isle allows you to kind of pick the mana you need for the time you need it. And we already talked about Urza's. So Ephemerate and Ghostly Flicker are kind of the keys to this deck. So they allow you to pop in and out Mnemonic Wall to get your spells back, Stonehorn to continually skip opponents' turns, Mole Drifter to get more cards. I have Denrova Horror in here. This is a pretty powerful card because it can target any permanent, and then it makes them discard a card. So you can spam this and really just undo their whole game board. The spells are nice to have against a counter deck and burn decks too. A lot of decks, this is nice to have. And it's good to have a 1 mana counter that you can bring back with Mnemonic Wall. Crop Rotates you already talked about. You can pop in Bajuka Bog. You can even search for a Cave of Temptation if you need to beef up something. But it also allows you to get Tron set up fast. Impulse helps you set up Tron. You can pick the cards you need for when you need them. I found that Prohibit is really all that's needed. You don't really need a full-on counterspell too often. Prohibit will do. A Braid. So I did have Lightning Bolt in here, but I switched it out to a Braid because it gives me that extra option of targeting an artifact. It's nice. Moment's Peace I use all the time against elf decks, against decks with a lot of creatures. This allows you to survive long enough to where you can get Tron going. Weather Storm's also nice against counter decks where they're casting a lot of spells, against artifact affinity decks where they're casting a lot of spells on a turn. You can hit this at the end and fill up your life bar. Prisms. This allows you to color up your mana from the Urzas. Flicker we already talked about. So you can flicker. The big things to flicker are Stonehorn to have them skip their steps, walls to get spell back, moles to draw cards, horror to make them discard and return their permanents. You can also flicker the prisms just to draw a card, or you can even flicker the lands to get life. So a lot of choices here. I had to throw in a cannonade against elf decks. This is huge. Anything with a lot of 2s is really nice. Pulses you already talked about. So if they kill your mnemonic walls or moles, you got to have a way to get them back. So this is a pretty key card. And you can also rotate this. You do gain 6 life every time, so it's a nice life gainer as well. Stonehorn we talked about, very important for decks with a lot of creatures. If you have a wall and a Stonehorn, you can Ghostly Flicker both and continually make them skip steps, right? Because you'll flicker the wall, target the Ghostly Flicker to bring it back, and then this will go in and out as well. Then you just cast it again for as long as you have mana. Mystical Teachings, extremely important. So this will allow you to search for things, search for any instant card, search for things as you need them. So if you need a counter, search it. You need a dispel, search it. Crop Rotate. It'll help you get Tron set up. It'll help you to search for a Fiery Cannonade right before you need it. Very important card to have. We talked about the walls and moles. We talked about the horrors. Sideboard, we've got our Hydros and Pyros for those blue or red decks. We have an extra Cannonade for the elf decks or the heavy creatures. Extra Moment's Peace for the elf decks or heavy creatures. Let's put that over there. Extra Stonehorns for the creature decks. Extra Dispel for the counter decks. Weather Storm comes in handy all the time. I did add this in, so this is kind of another way to get that win condition. You'll find that if you have a deck, if you're playing against something like Black Control, where they make you discard and exile the important cards, you'll be kind of stuck with a lot of mana but nothing to do. So you throw this in there, and at least you have a way to get at them, to hurt them, and not just run out of time. I think that's it. You really need to see it played to get the hang of it. I'll do that in the next video. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.